It's not that machine learning is taking anybody's jobs, right? It's that, with all technology advances, we need to learn how to leverage it properly. So we've got, the good creative side, the strategy, and then, right, the machine learning is doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yep.
But it can't think like a human does, right? And so it's really people battling machines as opposed to working properly with them strategically. Gosh, that was 20 something years ago now, right? Because I initially started with just designing websites and all these different industry, quit my job and found affiliate marketing. And I knew how to make websites, so I started doing, organic, and then soon after that, the first PPC engine, GoTo.com, launched. So I called them up to make an account and just sort of spiraled from there. Oh gosh, there's, a lot of it is people not knowing how to work properly with machine learning, right? So often it's sort of like this battle, here's machine learning, here's us, and people often sort of fighting with it. And it's not that machine learning is taking anybody's jobs, right? It's that, with all technology advances, we need to learn how to leverage it properly. So we've got, the good creative side, the strategy, and then, right, the machine learning is doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yep.
But it can't think like a human does, right? And so it's really people battling machines as opposed to working properly with them strategically. Oh, a good story. There's so many, right? Because often what you're looking at are people who are not using surface tactics, but take that and do deep dive with the tactics and how they work. So, we have a rather large B2B company as a customer. And audience targeting, it's not new, right? It started 5-6 years ago really on the search side. But they took it and said, all right, what audiences do we really need, right? We need to know everyone who's subscribed to each one of our individual products. We need to know who is sharing our content, who has downloaded white papers but not become subscribers, who's subscribed but less than, like in SaaS, you've got hockey sticks, right, where someone sort of goes along and then boom, they're a customer for a long time. So who has hockey sticks, who has not, and they created roughly 300 audiences and then layered them all into different strategies throughout their marketing. And so they do an amazing job, where most people will just have, here's who came on a website, here's who bought, here's who didn't, let me do summary marketing and be done, right? And really thinking through what is your full funnel strategy and building audiences for each level of that can lead to some really fun marketing interesting results. A lot of it is probably using some of the new affinity and in-market audiences across the display network. When you look to see, you drive people with search or social or organic, right? And you're making your audiences from often a remarketing, a dynamic remarketing standpoint. But what you're not seeing are people who are researching the same products that you have, but just haven't been to your website yet, so not in your audience list. And so some of the in-market, the YouTube remarketing, the YouTube market list, and the affinity list let you reach people who are in that same research buy mode, similar to your remarketing list, except they just haven't been to your site yet. So it's a good way of expanding, right, where your sales prospects are coming from. Number one, not enough do good ad testing. And in e-commerce, you have huge amounts of ads, so no one really wants to test in an ad group. So looking at pattern-based testing or multi-ad group testing to get better customer insights from their ad data that can then be leveraged into, title tags and email and everything else, is a super useful one. 2, be smart. If you're e-commerce, then obviously you're running shopping campaigns. So be smart with your campaign segmentations. Ensure that you are running brand, non-brand, third-party stuff correctly with your priority lists and segmenting out products correctly so you can manage the margins across them. And of course, all e-commerce, on average, the average person takes roughly 4 visits to convert, but depending on what type it is, right? Apparel, it's 11, and travel, it's 20 plus. So ensure you're using your audience not just to initially create yours, but also bring everyone back for the eventual conversion, and then post-conversion, what's the upsell with the audience look like as well, and segment your audience list so you can do proper upsells and cross-sells based on what someone bought on the website. So customer retentions, one, are you in an industry where your buyers are repeat quickly or repeat long term? So if you sell cars, no one's buying a new car every month. Well, at least if they are, I'm kind of jealous, right? So that's a brand strategy of a long term, right, where you're dealing with support issues and stuff for years until they buy their next one. So the automotive industry does a terrible job, of course, because it's so hard to do long term, right? Where if you got people who are rebuying stuff on a very regular basis, a lot of the food supplies, you need to rebuy them. If you have kids, you're rebuying a lot of the same supplies month over month. And some people do that quite well. Others are very lazy about it, but it's generally done via email and not really thought of as these are customers. They've proven they're going to be a customer. We know that they reorder, diapers every 3 months, or they reorder, baby formula every 2 weeks, or they reorder, new school supplies once per year, and run some remarketing off of when subscriptions renew or when things renew to ensure, right, that you're keeping top of mind awareness on top of your other loyalty things. And a lot of emails are never open. If you only rely on single channel on customer retention, you're missing out compared to reinforcing that in other places. I get excited by fun, large-scale things that work for a lot of people, right? And these days, while audience is an easy choice or some of the things, it's gotten down to Google and Bing's APIs and even Facebook's are very fast to be able to bring in data, use your own machine learning, or just filters, rules, whatever, and push things out again. And so the level of automation we can do to get rid of the stuff that you should not be doing. Right, no one should be doing week over week or month over month reports of the same thing, right? A complete waste of time. Most people should not be doing bidding, right? And so the way that we can now move data around, bring it locally, or just use automation that's already in the systems. And so we can spend as humans, right, more time on creativity, the strategy, the fun stuff that gets you into marketing, and automate all the really boring stuff that no one wants to do anyway. That's the fun stuff these days, right? Like getting rid of all the bad stuff so you get to concentrate on what's really interesting.